In this demo, we will use an FTP custom format in an Adapterflow. We will start by showing why we need to use the custom format and then show how to make and apply it. Start by creating a new Adapterflow. Select an FTP reader as entry point. Configure the connection. In this example, our FTP server is located on localhost. Then we set user and password. Set list method to the default value. In this case, we wish to create a trace file to be able to track the data received from the FTP server. Set trace to true. Then we must give the trace file a name. After this configuration, we finish the Adapterflow and will then run it. Start the iCore server to run the Adapterflow. Then open the log to see what happened. The log clearly shows that we had an error. According to the log record, some of the received data could not be passed. So we open the trace file to see what went wrong. In the trace file we find the characters S, R and D. S means sent, R stands for receive, and D for data to be interpreted. We now go back to the Adapterflow to open it up again. Open the configuration for list entry format. Press F1 for help. In the administrator help, you find detailed information about FTP custom format. You are recommended to read this information before you configure a list entry format in an Adapterflow. We will now show one method of configuring a custom format. Name the custom format. Add a new list entry definition. For type, select directory. Name the definition. Then open the trace file to find the data that couldn't be passed. Copy the data for the directory definition and paste the data in the test input field. Deselect all attributes except the initial, padding and date. This will enable you to interpret the data step by step. The interpretation of data will be displayed in the match field and in the test capture column. Select date. Fill in the date pattern. If you need help with the syntax, check the help file where the regular expression syntax is described. Start by adding \d, which means any decimal digit, then add plus to show that you want all the following digits. Add a square bracket, a hyphen, and then an ending square bracket. Repeat the same procedure for the next part of the date. And then for the last part. Then there is a white space. To get this, we add \s and a plus. To get the time part of the date, we add the sign for digit, then a square bracket with a colon within, and then the digit sign again. To get the two characters at the end of the date, add 2 dots for any characters. In the match field, you can check the result of your configuration so far. Now you need to add the format. Date format specifiers are listed in the help file. Note that we need 2 white spaces in between the date and the time, as this is the way it is in the data received. Then select padding. Before the next part of the data we have white space, so here we start by adding the pattern for repeated white space. Then add the signs within brackets and type the following characters, followed by the ending sign within brackets. And finish the padding pattern by adding the signs for white space. For the last part of the directory data, select name. Add a backslash, a capital S, and a plus sign to get the full name. Select the last padding to end your list entry definition. Then, check the match field to verify that your list entry definition matches the test input data correctly. Click Apply to save the configuration. We will now do the same thing for the file part of the data. Add a new list entry definition of the type file and name it. Copy the file part from the trace file and paste it into the test input field. Since the date part of the file data has the same pattern as the directory part, the easiest thing is to copy the pattern from the previous definition. Also in this case, we deselect all attributes except padding and date. Click Apply to save the file definition and open the directory definition. Select Date and copy the date pattern. Then you can go back to the file definition. Select Date and paste the copied pattern into the field. You can verify that the copied pattern is correct by checking the match field. Then fill in the format. Select the next padding and fill in the pattern for repeated white space. Select Size with number style None. And the pattern is to be the one for any digits. As usual, the match field shows whether we have the correct pattern. Select the next padding and fill in the pattern for white space. Select Name and fill in backslash capital S and a plus sign to get the full name. Select the last padding to show that the list entry definition is finished. And check that the match corresponds with the test input data. Click Apply to finish the definition and select the Test tab. Go to the trace file and copy the data that couldn't be parsed. Paste it into the test input field. Make sure there is only data in the field. Then click Test. The test output field will show whether your custom format will capture the correct data. At the bottom, you can see whether there were any errors. The custom format is complete. Finish the adapter flow configuration and run the flow again in iCore to verify that everything is working properly.